Hey friends, today's video I want to talk about playing long games. Now, I think it's pretty well known that compounding, like financial returns, compounding in the sense of financial returns, pays off a lot in the long run. Where increasing your savings by 3% or 5% or something like that, a little bit every year over decades adds up to a lot because it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. And it's very unintuitive because people aren't good at thinking in terms of exponential, kind of like recursively multiplying value or numbers, right? And it's one of those things where even when you talk to people about it, they might be, oh yeah, I hadn't considered that. And then they don't think about it further because it kind of sounds about right, but it doesn't. People return to their old habits of thinking, and our habits of thinking are informed by our experience in day-to-day life. And if there's been nothing in our experience that demonstrates the power of exponential growth, then even though it sounds nice, it doesn't feel real, right? And we always tend to default back or return back to what's familiar and what we know physically in the body, right? It's what you can imagine with your hands, or it's what you see in your bank account, for example. Like, you really have to simulate an experience that feels real. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Twitter and publishing online and even making these YouTube videos, right? Just making stuff online and continually making more and more things is something that I personally believe is extremely valuable. And I think that even though there's some people who talk about it online, write about it online, it's still something that most people probably don't relate to or understand, because I believe that if people really understood this, then we would all be making stuff all the time. And even I myself sometimes wonder what is wrong with me, right? Like, in the sense, like do I myself not understand it? Because I go days without publishing videos, and it doesn't take a lot of time and energy and effort to make a video. But I tend to have like this perfectionist streak with my videos that makes me feel, I kind of want to publish a video today, but I don't really know what I'm going to talk about, so maybe later, maybe something. The incentives in my head are not correct. Like, I'm imagining something that doesn't correspond with reality. The reality of it is, from what I believe is true intellectually, is that I should be publishing at least one video a day, every day for years, and that it's almost irrelevant what the quality of the video is past a certain threshold, right? So I can't be making gibberish noises, or I can't be talking bullshit. But as long as I am making an effort to say something that I think is interesting, that will be valuable in ways that I cannot anticipate, I cannot see, I cannot imagine. Like, my imagination and anticipation is limited by what I know and what I've experienced. And I can try to match, I know that other people have made lots of videos over the years, and that doing that gives them a certain power that I can see now. But it's very tempting to think that they are different in some way. It's just, even the way that I'm describing this right now, it's an attempt, and it's not the proper, correct explanation for what's going on. But I guess this is an affirmation to myself that I should be making videos every day. And it's challenging partially because the people around me don't understand this. The people around me have an even weaker understanding of this than I do. That's my belief, right? I believe that there's tremendous power in uploading a video every day. I have some friends who kind of believe this as well, but none of them really believe it as thoroughly as I do. Again, because if they did, they would be making videos every day, which they don't. So I have a belief that is, deviant from the norm. And holding on to a belief that's deviant from the norm is challenging, because your social reality will drag you back to the norm without any malicious intent. It's just, nobody even needs to try. Nobody even needs to tell you, hey, you shouldn't be publishing videos every day. Like, nobody needs to say that. It's just that nobody around me is also publishing videos every day, and therefore I don't feel compelled to do it unless I remind myself that I should do it, right? And Reminding myself is it's a game of managing my own psychology. It's a game of managing my environment, right? It's about I should have, pictures in my room of people who were prolific to remind myself of the joy and beauty of being prolific, right? I think I have Twitter threads about this, and that does kind of keep me motivated. And saying this out loud, I realize I should be doing it even more. It's kind of radical, in my opinion. Like, again, people might dismiss it and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I don't care. I don't care. The only thing that really matters to me is that I adequately manifest my own understanding. And, could I be wrong? I don't think so. Maybe. I think if I'm wrong about, and wrongness and rightness is not a binary thing. It's like what parts of your model are wrong and what parts of your model are correct. And, I think it's correct that to do great things or to create something very valuable, you have to be creating a lot. Is that enough? Probably not. There's probably other variables that I have not understood or considered. But the point is, by continuing to do it, you expose yourself to the opportunity to learning what are the things that you don't know. And I have to spend today working on my book, so I'm gonna end this video here. But I'm trying to psych myself up to make more videos more often and invite more people to chat and hang out. And I tweeted earlier that a couple of dozen friends, or even just a dozen friends who are committed to tweeting well for 30 years can change the world. And again, maybe change the world is like a very loaded sentence, or it's a very, different people have different ideas of what that means. But I mean, that's shorthand for saying can have a tremendous amount of influence and impact that they cannot see or imagine when they're starting out, because they can't see all the people who aren't in the room who will show up when they show up every day, right? So it's kind of a chicken or egg thing, but you can make it happen, and again, I don't know if there's no point trying to argue it too much in a single video. Rather, the argument is demonstrated by continuing to make more and more videos. So now I have, like a few months ago, I had like 1,000 something subscribers. Now I have 2,000 something. Soon it'll be 3, then 4, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. I do believe that I will get to 100k subscribers eventually. There will be things that I have to do along the way, right? I have to polish the videos. I have to make it, these videos are too long or they are not snappy enough, whatever. I'll figure that out later on. That's not such a big deal. The hardest part is managing my own psychology and making sure that what I'm saying is useful. And so in a way, these are all rehearsals. This is all me practicing, right? This is me playing my scales or whatever. Just getting used to the sound of my voice, getting used to my rhythms, getting used to my systems of communication. I'm not satisfied with this, and I'm not even impressed with this, right? It's a work in progress. But I know that doing this, I know that there are a bunch of people who watch who don't comment and don't like or subscribe or whatever, and they are on the fence about making stuff, right? Doing, like, someone tweeted me yesterday saying something like, I want to write blog posts, but I don't know what I want to write about, and it's been written a million times before. I'm like, so what? Like, that has been true of every great thing that's ever been done. And you don't need to be great, you just need to do stuff. It's the frames people use are so self-limiting and self-regulating, and you could just as easily, well, I say it's easily, but from my point of view, you could reframe it in a way that's like, I just want to make stuff and make lots and lots of stuff and see what happens, right? It's a way of exploring the world. It's a way of discovering things. It's interesting, it's cool. Done.